So Buddhist Global Relief is an organization that some of us we established in the year 2008 with the purpose of giving what I call concrete expression to the great Buddhist values of loving kindness and compassion. Especially compassion means the wish to rescue people who are afflicted with suffering. And loving kindness means the wish to provide for the well-being and happiness of others. So the question we faced is, how does one actually put compassion and loving kindness into practice? And the way to do this is by finding channels or vehicles for helping people who are afflicted, badly afflicted with suffering. And on reflection, we realize that one of the most debilitating forms of suffering that people around the world have to face is that of shortages of nutritious food, chronic hunger, malnutrition, and the illnesses and the social degradation that are caused by malnutrition. And so we decided to make the mission of our organization, Buddhist Global Relief, to help communities around the world that are afflicted with chronic hunger and malnutrition. And the way we do this is by forming partnerships with organizations in the countries and communities that we seek to help. Partnerships with organizations that know the culture, know the language, that know the people, and can directly benefit them. And so we started in 2008 with just 4 projects with a budget of $40,000. And last year, we had something like 30 projects working with a budget like 500,000, close to $600,000. And so this is indicative of the kind of support that Buddhist Global Relief has been able to gather from the Buddhists and friends of Buddhism in the US and sometimes in other countries. And our projects not only provide direct food aid to communities suffering from hunger, but also what we try to do is to address some of the underlying causes of poverty and malnutrition. And so one of the most basic underlying causes of persisting poverty is the subordinate status of girls in many traditional cultures. So some of our projects, what I consider some of our most important projects, are intended to provide education to poor children, especially to poor girls, so that when girls are educated, their voices will be more respected in their families, in their communities, and they'll have a better understanding of nutrition and be able to work to support their families, to be able to work at better jobs to support their families. We also try to help women start what we call right livelihood projects to support their families, so that when women are able to work and to start meaningful work projects, not just going to the factories to work, then again they'll be able to better support their families and to provide healthy and nutritious food. Another type of project that BGR sponsors is ecologically sustainable agriculture. So we support numbers of projects around the world, ranging from Cambodia, Vietnam, through India, Sri Lanka, several African countries, Haiti, and right here in the US, that support small-scale, organic or ecologically sustainable agriculture. Since this is an answer to the industrial agricultural system, which is one of the biggest drivers of climate change, and which is decimating the livelihoods of small farmers around the world and contributing to global hunger and malnutrition. So the answer, part of the answer, is to help small-scale farmers learn ecologically sustainable methods of agriculture so that they'll be able to grow more crops with fewer chemical inputs and be able to earn more to get a profit from their sales of their crops in order to support their families. Okay, so these are some of the ways, the types of projects that BGR supports. But how do we gather the funds to support these projects? Our most important fundraising activity around the year has turned out to be this Walk to Feed the Hungry. We started in 2010 with one walk in New Jersey, and as word about this walk spread throughout Buddhist communities around the U.S., in time we've been holding over the last few years 10 walks ranging from Connecticut and New York City on the East Coast to St. Louis, Missouri, in the middle of the country, and Michigan, near Ann Arbor, Michigan, to the West Coast, Seattle, San Francisco, San Jose, and Los Angeles. And so we see these walks, we call them a worldwide walk of compassion. Because when we're walking, our act of walking is motivated by compassion and is intended to support this compassionate activity of providing for people around the world suffering from chronic hunger and malnutrition. So now I think it's time to stop the talking, to walk the talk, as they say, and to start the walk
first.
Which is quite unique in Connecticut. In other places, it's done as a regular procession type walk. But here, we have the benefit of this beautiful, quiet temple with woodlands just behind. And so we're going to do a quiet, slow, meditative walk. Does Achon, do you want to give instructions on the way to do the walk?
That's okay.
Okay. Does everybody know how to do the walk? So as we're walking, you could either do it as a very slow, mindful walk, simply focusing on each step, being mindful of right step, left step, right step, left step. Or else you could be mindful of the compassionate motivation of the walk. So think, maybe as you're taking the right step, may all beings be well. With the left step, may all beings be free from suffering. With the right step, may all beings be well. With the left step, may all beings be free from suffering. Or you could alternate between the simple mindfulness and then the mindfulness of loving kindness and compassion, as you wish. Okay, so let us begin then.